When a man finally stops chasing, something subtle but powerful shifts in the world of modern dating. Women begin to notice him differently, not because his value suddenly changed, but because his silence forces them to examine their own. Pulling your energy back resets the entire dynamic and reveals who actually sees your worth without being spoon-fed attention. The man who refuses to chase naturally steps into a position of value, authority, and emotional control without ever needing to announce it. Instead of trying to earn her, you become the one she has to qualify herself to. That alone flips the dating script in a way most men never experience. Your detachment highlights your confidence, your standards, and your refusal to play a losing game. Women feel the shift instantly because men who don't chase are rare, and rarity breeds demand. Today, we're breaking down why the man who stays calm, centered, and unbothered becomes the prize every time. And once you understand this mindset, you'll never approach dating the same way again. Number 1. Scarcity creates value, and men forget that. Most men don't realize how powerful scarcity truly is, especially in modern dating where women are constantly flooded with attention. When every guy offers compliments, validation, and effort without being asked, it all starts to feel cheap. But the man who doesn't chase immediately breaks that pattern and stands out without saying a word. Scarcity always increases value, and your presence is no different. When you stop giving away your attention like it's unlimited, she becomes far more aware of how rare your energy actually is. Suddenly, you're not just another option. You're the one thing she can't easily secure. The moment she senses that you're not available on demand, her curiosity rises and her behavior shifts. Women notice the man who isn't trying to prove himself because he forces them to do the evaluating instead. And in a world full of men who overextend themselves, your absence becomes far louder and far more attractive than anyone else's presence. Number 2. Chasing signals neediness, not confidence. When a man starts chasing, he quietly signals that he's willing to fight for a woman's approval, and that instantly lowers his perceived value. It tells her he sees himself as one option among many, not a man who stands on his own. Chasing communicates insecurity long before words ever do, and women pick up on that faster than most men realize. But when you stay calm, centered, and let the situation flow toward you instead of forcing it, everything about your energy shifts. You communicate confidence without trying, and self-respect without announcing it. You show emotional discipline in a world where most men crumble under pressure. Women recognize that kind of presence immediately because it stands out in a dating landscape overflowing with desperation. A man who doesn't chase feels complete with or without her attention, and that makes him more compelling than anything he could say. The less you need from her, the more she becomes curious about you. And the man who remains unmoved becomes the one she has to rise to meet. Number 3. Women try harder for a man who isn't easily won. A simple truth in human behavior is that people value what they have to work for, and dating is no different. When a woman is required to invest, whether by initiating conversations, keeping the energy consistent, or showing genuine interest, her emotional attachment naturally deepens. A man who doesn't chase shifts her into that position without saying a word. Suddenly, she's the one adjusting her behavior, matching your effort, and proving she deserves your attention. This shift forces her to take an active role instead of relying on passive entitlement. It also reveals how much she's actually willing to invest when the pressure isn't on you to lead everything. As she steps forward more, her perception of your value rises because effort creates emotional weight. The dynamic flips from her being pursued to her doing the pursuing. And once she's the one trying to earn a place in your world, everything about the interaction changes. That's why the man who doesn't chase often becomes the man she works hardest to keep. Number 4, you control the pace and the emotional tone. When you stop chasing, you instantly take control of the pace and the emotional tone of the connection. She no longer dictates how fast things move because your energy isn't reacting to hers. A man who stays calm, steady, and unbothered naturally sets the rhythm of the interaction without ever forcing it. You decide when to engage, how much access she gets, and what standards must be met for anything to progress. That kind of emotional consistency is rare in modern dating, and anything rare becomes instantly valuable. Women can feel the difference between a man who's grounded and a man who's easily thrown off balance. The unbothered man becomes the emotional anchor she gravitates toward without even realizing it. He doesn't rush, doesn't panic, and doesn't overinvest just to keep her interested. His stability becomes the silent signal of strength she can't overlook. And in a world full of emotional roller coasters, the man who controls the pace becomes the one she feels safest chasing. Number 5. When you don't chase, she sees your true value. When a man stops chasing, something powerful happens. She's finally forced to see him for who he really is, not for who she thinks she can control. Chasing makes her assume you're trying to earn a spot in her life, which instantly lowers your perceived value. But when you hold your ground and stay centered, you remove the pressure and allow her to actually evaluate you with clarity. She starts noticing your discipline, your boundaries, the way you move with intention, and the emotional maturity that sets you apart from other men. Your silence and composure reveal that your worth isn't tied to her approval, and that alone changes everything. Suddenly, you're no longer the man trying to win her over. You're the man she has to rise up to match. She sees your standards, your self-respect, and your refusal to chase as signs of strength rather than indifference. And that strength creates an attraction she can't manufacture or manipulate. The man who doesn't chase shows that he knows his value, and because of that, she has no choice but to recognize it too. In the end, she realizes that the real prize is the man who refuses to beg for what he deserves. When a man finally understands his value, he stops chasing anything that was never meant for him, and that shift changes everything. Walking away from the need for validation makes you move with a different level of clarity and intention. You stop bending, you stop overextending, and you stop proving yourself to people who don't deserve access to you. Instead, you attract situations that match your standards, not your insecurities. A man who refuses to chase becomes the prize because he knows his worth can't be negotiated or discounted. That quiet confidence forces others to meet him where he stands, not drag him where they want. And the moment you embrace that mindset, she suddenly realizes exactly what she risks losing.